Okay, welcome back. And now we're going to talk about converting from degrees to radians or radians to degrees. And so here are the two steps for doing either one of them. So first, to convert from degrees to radians, we're just going to simply multiply by this unit conversion, okay? Pi radians over 180 degrees, okay? And notice, okay, I'll come back and talk about the units in a second. The second one, if you want to convert from radians to degrees, then what you're going to do is you're going to multiply radians by 180 degrees over pi radians. So the way you figure this out and keep this in mind is what we, think about the unit analysis. Well, what we mean is look at the units that you start with and what the units are that you want to end with. Here you're starting with degrees, okay? So you're going to want degrees on the bottom to cancel out with the degrees on the top. Because if I'm at 118 degrees, right, and I want to multiply by a conversion factor, right, I want to multiply by this, well, what do I need to do? Well, here, if I look at this and just stick it over 1 and write it as a fraction, then it becomes easier to see that, okay, I've got degrees on top. Well, if I'm multiplying by another unit factor, conversion factor of pi, let's say, hold on a second here, right? So what I need is I want to figure out how to cancel out the degrees on the top because I want radians on top. Well, the only factor that's going to give me what I want on top is this one. Okay, so that means I'm going to put pi radians over 180 degrees, and of course the degrees cancel on top and the bottom, and of course I'm left with my final answer, which is going to be radians. So this is going to end up being 118 over 180 radians, and whatever that whatever that divides out to be. Okay, that would be the answer. And likewise, if I'm starting with radians, I have radians on top, right? So if I have 3, let's say 3 pi radians, right? I'm going to stick that over 1. And of course, I've got radians on top. I need to multiply by something that has radians on the bottom and degrees on top. And of course, the only one that's going to do that is 180 degrees over pi radians. And so the radians on the top and the bottom will cancel. I'm left with degrees. And if I multiply across the top and the bottom, I get 3 pi times 180 degrees divided by pi. Right, so the pi's will cancel, and in this case here, I got what? This is going to be 540 degrees. Okay, so the key here is using this relationship here, okay? Understanding that pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, okay? And since those are equal, if you divide either way, you're going to get 1, the unit factor, right? Or unit conversion, okay? Let's see. Oh, here's the other thing too that I want to mention. So anytime that you don't have the units, if it's a state is equal to 2, for example, and the units are not given, it's always assumed to be radians. Okay, so in this case here, it would just be assumed to be radians. Again, you don't have to write the units for radians. Again, if it's not given, it's assumed to be in radians. Obviously, if you see the degree symbol, then it's obviously degrees. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.